Blog Talk Radio.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson.
Of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
Either you are with us, or you are with the terrorists.
But I also believe that a lot of gun owners would agree that AK-47s belong in the hands of soldiers, not in the hands of criminals.
All right, good evening, everyone. How you doing? My name is Joseph Gibson. This is Blog Talk Radio. This is a live show, unedited. I do not screen calls. I don't screen messages. This is your platform tonight, and whoever wants to chip in, call in, say what's on your mind. It's up to you. Don't be afraid. You can do it. No, I don't pay my guests like the mainstream media, like CNN and Fox. I don't give them a $500 check to tell me a story that's not true. So this is of your own free will. Okay? I'm down here broadcasting in Greensboro, North Carolina. And it's the year 2015. And tonight, I have a very special guest that asked me to call him tonight. I hope he answers the phone because I have not had too much luck with guests in the past 2 weeks. Okay, this gentleman is from Veterans Against ISIS. This is an international organization of veterans, U.S. veterans, that are going to deploy into Syria and in the Middle East to fight the terrorist group ISIS. The government is not supporting them. The only support they have is from the general public. Okay? They have a Facebook page. They have a website. You can look it up. Veterans Against ISIS. These are former who were deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan at one time. You can look at their page. Some of them have done 2, 3, 4, 5 tours. And they have taken upon themselves to create a group of ex-military and veterans to come together and go over into the Middle East on their own to take out this ISIS terrorist network. And it's for real, folks. I've talked to these gentlemen. I've supported them. I even bought a T-shirt. I have a T-shirt that says Veterans Against ISIS. I bought it, and I've already worn it. So it's real. These people are real, and they are really doing this. They've actually been on a few mainstream media cable network stations, and have been interviewed, and they've been mocked and criticized by a lot of the media because they are not getting government support for their mission. But for the most part, the general public is supporting them. Okay? Because we know what ISIS is, don't we? If you don't, you've been living in a cave for the last 6 months. ISIS is a Muslim terrorist network that mission is to kill Christians, chopping their heads off. They're killing women and children, raping them and murdering them over in the Middle East, in Iraq, Saudi Arabia, all these Middle Eastern countries. Christians have become targets. And now in the United States, we are becoming targets today because ISIS claims they have 71 soldiers in America right now ready to strap a bomb to their waist and run into a shopping mall and blow themselves up. Okay? So this is for real. This is not a joke. The Bible prophesied about this coming. Read the book of Revelation. Okay? Read the New Testament. Christians will be persecuted in the end of days, like they were back in the older days before Jesus came. Okay? After Jesus was crucified, many Christians were persecuted. Tonight's not a Bible lesson. We're going to talk about this group, Veterans Against ISIS. And this individual did send me an email today and asked to come on this show, so I hope he answers the phone and comes on. However, I told him in the beginning that I always give a short introduction so you know what's in store for the program tonight. But I kind of let the program flow in a general, a type of free will type of way where everyone has a chance to participate and say what they want. Or if you have a question, and we like last night. We had Joe from Meriden, Connecticut on, and we weren't even talking about natural cures or natural medicines and remedies. We just kind of flowed along to that topic. And Joe called in, and he gave us about 30 minutes of good advice. How to stay healthy and clean and pure. Joe from Meriden. Now, some of you didn't want to stay on and listen. He came on later on in the program, and I actually brought the program to a good conclusion. So you really need to go back and look that program up. It's archived. All these programs are saved. So if it gets too late and you got to go to work in the morning, hey, you know what? You can always go back and listen to it later on. But most people don't because they're so busy, and really people don't want to listen to something that's important or that will help them. We're too busy trying to hurt ourselves today and fight with each other instead of helping each other and sticking together and doing the right thing. Am I right or wrong? You disagree with me? All you got to do is turn the boob tube on. You'll see what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's what we have in store tonight. So I'm going to try to get this individual on. He's a veteran, and he has been on Fox News. He has been interviewed. And I told him I'd call him around 8:45, so I want to stay on time with that, okay? So what I want to try to do is give you a little more background about this organization because I've looked it up and I've read about it. Veterans Against ISIS, like I told you, are a bunch of veterans who are coming together and they're asking the public to fly into Syria. They're flying into a war zone, okay? Or they're going to go into Turkey. I think the last update was they were going to go into Turkey because there's no more international flights going into Syria because we know it's a war zone over there. And what they're going to do is land in Turkey and then hike their way into Syria. Now, Syria, we know, is a hot spot right now for war, chemical weapons, travesty, murder. I mean, it's crazy over there. It's someplace you don't want to be. And it's a breeding ground for these Muslim terrorists who want to come over here and hurt us. Now, we know for a fact, whether or not anyone agrees with me, even my guest that's going to come on, we know the American government is behind a lot of this nonsense. Okay? We know they fund the terrorists. We know. Hey, just look at Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein was a CIA agent. Rumsfeld shook his hand, okay, on the 6 o'clock news. Look it up. The video's there, still on the internet. He shook his hand. So don't give me that nonsense that Saddam Hussein was this terrible individual. The United States created Saddam Hussein, okay, for the Iran and Iraq war in the early 1980s. And then when they were done with Saddam Hussein, look what we did. Okay? And now we're done with Iran too, and now we're going to be going after Iran. So Iran is not a participant in the New World Order. We'll go into that later on. Iraq and Iran are the only two Middle Eastern countries that did not agree with the agenda of the New World Order that Henry Kissinger, the Secretary of State at that time, laid down in the year 1979. There's a long story about that. Like I said, I know about history. I've looked it up, and I've watched many, many, many videos and read many, many news clips, and you kind of can't, and it's not that I take it all to be the truth. You have to divide the truth and understand what is really true and come to a common sense conclusion as to what is really true. Okay? But this organization, Veterans Against ISIS, they've had enough. They're sick and tired of it. The American government is not doing anything. There are hundreds of thousands of people that are being slaughtered over there. And nobody is saying or doing anything. And now they have come over into this country, these radical Muslim, okay, because we know who we have as president. Abomination, that's what he is, an abomination. Obama, he's a joke. And we know George Bush was no better either, so don't tell me I'm a Republican. I'm not, and I'm not a Democrat either. It's the same side of the coin. Same two sides of a coin, okay? They're all the same. They're all working together. So, what I'd like to do is I'm going to go ahead and give this gentleman a call, and we're going to try to get him on the line. So I just got to get his number up here, pulled up, and he asked me to call him, and hopefully, you know, this gentleman, like I said, is an American. He's a veteran. He served, and we should be proud of that at the very least, at the very, very least. And, you know, I really, really hope everyone obtains a lot of information from this individual tonight, and I hope I can get a hold of him. He's given me his number. I'm looking it up now, and I'm going to go ahead and give him a call. So just bear with me for a second. Okay. All right. Just bear with me 1 second, please. We're going to get him on the line. Hopefully he answers right away, and then we won't have 415. I'm sorry I didn't write it down, but this is like a show I put together like right away tonight, and I tried to advertise it as much as I could. Okay, we'll see if we get him on the line. Here we go.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Lovely.
Tia Esson
Is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Mr. Rowe, this is Joseph Gibson on Blog Talk Radio. I'm trying to get a hold of you. You asked me to call you tonight. So please give me a call back, 657-383-0616. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, guys, as usual, like I told you, I don't have very much luck with the guests, obviously, because, you know, he did send me an email and said he wanted to be on about 8:45 tonight. So I hope he does give me a call back. I will know. I'll see his number. I got his number on the alert here. So if he does call in, I will connect him right away. You know, you just can't, you know, you ask people to do something for you, and it's just like I told you, you know, you just can't communicate anymore. What the hell's going on with people? I mean, you know, I'm going to go ahead and give him another call in a second here if he doesn't call back, and I'm going to blow his phone up, guys, because you know what? You're not going to embarrass me in front of my show, you know? I mean, maybe you had something come up, and it's just like the pastor last week. We had Dr. Ventura. We got a hold of him. He came on the show. He did his thing. But the pastor who was supposed to be on, he blew us off. So 1 out of 2 ain't bad, right? But the thing of it is when I try to schedule and book a guest, I'd like to keep my word and keep you guys informed and try to keep things honest. But if this does not happen, I'll investigate it, folks, and I promise I will not let you down on this particular topic, okay? You have my word on that. Because this is a real organization. It's not a joke. You could look them up on the web. Now, they are for real, and I've seen them in the mainstream media giving interviews, so they are for real. And what I told you in the introduction about them deploying into Syria and taking on this group ISIS is true. So I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass, I guess. So, you know, but anyway, like I said, you know, understanding the times in which we live in, this ISIS group that's murdering Christians around the world today in the Middle East is very serious because we do have them here in America, so they say. They say there's 71 of them that are living in the U.S. today. And if there's anyone out there, I know many people are not concerned with terrorism. They go about their daily lives. But we know 9/11 was a farce. We know that. Facts have come out on that. We know the towers were blown up. We know that. We know it was fake, and it was a put-up job. However, there are people across the globe who do hate us. That is true. So if you have an opinion on that and you wish to share about that, then you're more than welcome to tonight. Otherwise, I'm willing to open up the lines and allow anyone to talk about any particular subject, even if it doesn't address the subject that I've talked about tonight. So it's totally up to you, okay? Now, what I'd like to do is, like I said, I'd like to try to get a hold of this guest one more time. So I'm going to give it a few minutes. So if I can take, I think I got one person with a question. Nope, they just dropped their question mark. So, okay, well, that's fine. Maybe they got scared. Okay, like I said, I'm looking at the screen, and I got 15 callers on the line, and I got a question mark will appear on my screen, and that means they have a question. But don't get confused, folks. Press 1 time. That's all you have to do. Don't keep pressing it, because if you press it twice, you go back out of the chat box, and I can't get to you. I can't answer your question, okay? So only press 1 time. And if I don't get to you right away, it's rolling the numbers, and I'm talking at the same time, and I'm trying to get a hold of the guest that has to come on tonight, okay? So don't get frustrated. I will see you eventually. Well, again, as a recap, last night, Joe from Meriden, he gave us, really, I'd like to really plug that show because he gave us a real lot of natural cures and remedies as good advice as far as vitamins and what we should do concerning good things we can eat to make ourselves feel better and be healthy. We talked about turkey, like at Thanksgiving, why people become tired after they eat turkey. And he gave us a real lot of knowledge and understanding about a lot of the vitamins we take today. So, and that show was really good. It really did. We ended up closing the show in a really, really powerful manner. And he gave us a lot of information that was very important, very. So if you missed that show last night because you had to work or you didn't have time or you just got tired, I understand. But like I said, these shows are archived, and you have the opportunity to go back and listen to them. I know a lot of people don't want to come on live, and I understand. That's okay. Okay? So that's why we archive the shows, because not everyone can adapt to my schedule. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this guest one more chance to redeem himself tonight. I don't see his number on the screen, so I'm going to go ahead and call him. Okay? The page is full with numbers, but anyway, hang on. Just give me one more chance here to call this guest. I got one question, so I'm going to go ahead and give him a shot. And then I'll get to the questions that are on the screen. I got two people with questions. This is live broadcast. I can't edit this, folks, so if I make a mistake, sorry. I'm not Bill O'Reilly, so he might not want to come on here.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
So obviously, he's blown me off. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's one.
Okay, well.
Is not available. At the tone, please record
media out of me, folks. Okay, here we go. I got a question. Let's get one of my supporters on. Hello, you're on the air. Go ahead. Can you hear me? Hello?
All right, how's that?
Yeah, I got you now. I didn't get you right away. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was on mute. I'm an old man, too. I forget. What do I know?
Yeah, I know. I'm making a lot of mistakes tonight, putting my trust into individuals who are full of shit,
Well, that's why I'm calling. That's why I'm calling you. This organization you're talking about was started in March of 2015. Their domain is registered through GoDaddy. Nobody in their right mind who has a business registers through GoDaddy. Originally on their website, they were looking for someone to make them a 501(c)(3) corporation, but that page has been taken down. That was taken down about 3 or 4 months ago, and they've changed it twice since then. They seem to be out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and their domain name servers are from Wild West Domains. And I've had a little interaction with Wild West Domains, and they're not very friendly. But I'm wondering why they would even consider being a 501(c)(3) corporation, because let's face it, Obama is supporting ISIS. If he wasn't, they'd be long gone by now. Now, if your friend here thinks he's going to go against Obama and do something over there, I think he's sadly mistaken, because Obama's got everything behind him. But this is just the information that I've dug up since you started talking about him.
No, I understand that. What it was is that, you see, I support. They sent out these emails, and I've seen them on the Fox network there on television, and they were given an interview, and they were kind of being scrutinized. So that's why I gave it a little credibility, because we know mainstream media doesn't like people who do the right thing. So that's why I gave it a little credibility, and I reached out to these individuals because they're supposedly veterans, and I did buy a T-shirt from them, and the T-shirt does say Veterans Against ISIS. So, I reached out to him last night. He said, hey, here's my phone number. Give me a call. I'd like to come on your show. Well, I told him I'd call him at 8:45, and we get voicemails. What do you think?
Well, I'm wondering why they're hiding behind GoDaddy. I'm wondering why they're trying to be anonymous with their website. I know when I register a domain, I put my name in there. If I start getting calls or whatever, I'll go in there and change it, and I'll take my phone number out, or I'll change what I need to change so that I'm not bothered. But this is totally anonymous and hiding, so you can't contact the owner of the domain, and I don't like it from the onset. But like I said, if they're a 501(c)(3) corporation, and they have certain rules that they have to go by in order to be a 501(c)(3), and I believe one of those rules is you can't speak bad about the government. So and now
yeah, I know. That's true.
I don't think they are, because that page where they were soliciting people to do it for them was taken down last May. You see, there's a way you can go back and look at all old web pages and everything, and that's what I was doing, and it's been modified 3 or 4 times since May, I believe.
Uh-huh. Well, what do you suggest in your as a supporter of this show, what do you think I should do? Maybe there's a mistake here in communication, or what have I done wrong, in your opinion? Because obviously you know what you're talking about.
Well, in my opinion, I'd be happy to listen to them. If I were you, I'd be happy to talk to them. I'd be happy to have them on the show, because it's always nice to hear people talk and hear their opinions, whether it be right or whether it be wrong, because we don't have to act on any of it. And if he wants me to act on what they're trying to support, first of all, they'll stop hiding behind GoDaddy, they'll stop hiding behind Wild West domains, and they'll have a valid explanation on why they were propositioning for a 501(c), and then they change their mind. And he'd also have a valid reason why he's not around to be on the show.
Well, they do have a Facebook page, I know that. So I did look that up. So they do have many supporters. So I don't know. So I won't come to any judgment or conclusions. I'll give it a day, and I'll try to reach out to him, and we'll try to get him on here tomorrow night. I'll give him one more shot. After that, you know me, I'm going to trash him.
That's what I would do. I'd give them all the chances I possibly could. A matter of fact, I received 2 emails today, and I've got $72 million waiting for me. All I got to do is send in my $79 processing fee.
Yeah, I know, and I won an Amazon shopping spree too, $50 Amazon gift card. Tell me something. When these people do this, what do you recommend people do? Because we do have some people listening tonight, a good amount actually. So what do you think we should do when we receive scams, basically?
Well, what I would do is I'd get involved with somebody who has a little legal expertise, someone who's able to set up a collection agency, and these people who break federal law for spamming and spam mail and phishing, you send them notice, and you charge them $250 per email, and you charge the fees, the interest, which could probably total $4,000, on those 1 or 2 emails, and then you just sell that to a collection agency, and you let them go after it and collect it. Let them lien their property, let them garnish their assets, let them take their cars, and pretty soon these spams and phishing emails will disappear.
Yeah. Well, it's like, for instance, my grandfather down in Florida, he's telling me about, when I talked to him on the phone, he's telling me about the problems he has with AT&T. He said AT&T is the worst, but they have a monopoly. They have a monopoly on the internet, and so what can you do? Like me in the rural area I'm on, I have to choose between Time Warner or AT&T. I mean, so what does one do if they want to connect to the internet?
Well, those are your choices, and that's where you're limited. If you go any other way, you'll probably be paying a lot more. There's satellite and everything else, but it's more expensive. And as far as the spam and callers and everything, I think Granny was on here a few days ago. She's getting a call from the IRS saying she owes money, and the caller ID is representing 000. It's always spam. Every time you turn around, everyone's trying to rip you off.
Yeah, including your own family.
Well, that tends to be true too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just don't like my listeners to log in. I feel bad because here I am promoting a show, and we do have about 35 people on the line. I can only handle 50, and it seems like I only get up to 40 for some reason. But then people go back and they archive the show. But I have about 35 people on the live call line, and for some reason, I don't want to let them down. So I'll take your advice. I'll give this individual every opportunity to redeem himself because this show is archived. It's going to be on the internet forever. So, and the person I'm trying to reach, his name is Sean Rowe. That's the name he gave me, and he gave me his telephone number to call him, and I'm trying to get a hold of him to get him live here to talk about his organization, and he does sell T-shirts and products trying to support his cause because they say they need to raise money to deploy in the Middle East, and I'm trying to give that opportunity to this individual, you know?
I'd give them every possible chance that you can. People do get busy. People do forget, and things always happen in this day and age. But as I say, I'm looking at their domain registration now. They're from Scottsdale, Arizona. It's a .org, which means they're a nonprofit, it's what it's supposed to mean. Nowadays, it could mean anything. It could mean it's some guy in China who registered it and he's trying to get your money. And they got the administrator's phone number and all that, but I don't want to be giving that stuff out. But
no, I know.
I'd give them every chance you possibly can, because you never know what could possibly happen. But like I said from the onset, you have people listening to this show who are just trolling for information to get the dirt on anything. Because you don't know what their agendas are out there.
True. Tell me something. What as an IT expert, information networking expert, you give as advice so we can switch the subject from last night. What do you give as advice to people who are clicking on these links they're not supposed to and getting their private information stolen? Like you've preached to me, don't use your debit card in many different places. Why? I don't know, because you never explained it. And so what advice do you have to give? Because we know, like you said, everyone's out there trolling, trying to steal everybody's money.
Well, first of all, I'm not an internet expert any longer, and it's been a long time since I've been an internet expert, so I don't even know if I was an expert back then. I'm just using the tools now that I used back then. As far as using a debit card, I wouldn't use a debit card anywhere for any reason in any terminal. No one will get my PIN number ever. And as a matter of fact, I've never used a debit card, not since day one. At least with a credit transaction, you're somewhat protected. I don't know if the information is sent over the internet as clear text anymore, unencrypted in other words. It used to be. You could go sit out in front of Target or Sears or Sunoco or Shell with a laptop and just stream all the data right into your machine and do what you want to do with it afterwards. But as far as clicking on links, don't click on the links. It's more, the odds are it's a scam to begin with. You haven't won any money. You're not going to get a free gas card. You're not going to win a shopping spree. If you're going to sign up for free coupons, you're going to get 17,000 emails a month trying to sell you something. And as soon as you click on one of them, you're going to get a cookie put on your machine, and you're not going to know how to get it off. So stop with the coupons and everything else, too. You want coupons, clip them out of the paper.
Yeah, true. Well, I'll tell you what, I got a message from Mike out in Wisconsin, and he asked me, what do you think about putting Jeannie from Wallingford, Connecticut on to talk about, because we know she's an expert on the astrology, and, she studied it for many years, and I said, sure. So I haven't got a response from him yet on that. I said, listen, when does she want to come on? Just let me know. But we all know she's very difficult to get a hold of. And this is Jeannie Kavanaugh from Wallingford, Connecticut. And some of us know her, some of us don't. And she's an expert on astrology. And, we want, and Mike from Wisconsin said, hey, that would be a good show idea because a lot of people are interested in that. So, I'd like to get her on. So if, one day in the future she can reach out to me and say, hey, when do you want to do a show? And we can get her on. What do you think about that? Because you know Jeannie.
Michael emailed me, and I emailed him Sean's phone number and Jeannie's phone number about 45 minutes ago. To get Jeannie to do it, I think it's going to be hard, but I think she might.
Okay. Well, all right. Anything else you got to add? Because I appreciate you helping me out tonight, because I kind of got into a little bit of a rut there, so I appreciate you helping me out.
Yeah, your vitamin K for babies, it's supposed to help with blood clotting and that sort of thing. And the only problem I've seen with it is that it's a chemical, and it's generally recognized as safe. They didn't say it was safe, but I think you're going to have to go with it regardless.
Well, The reason why you're bringing that up is because last night I told everyone, if you missed the show, last night when my son was born, the first thing they do when a child is born is after the child's born, and they dry them off and they put them in the incubator there and they bring them into where all the other babies are. The first thing they do is shoot them up with vitamin K. So that's the reason why Joe is bringing that up. So you think it's relatively safe, or because they don't give you an option anyway. They're going to put it in them, you know?
Well, that's what I said. I think it's probably mandatory, and you're not going to have any say in it whatsoever. Do I think it's safe? Not when they say it's generally recognized as safe, but is it going to be detrimental? Probably not, because it'll probably get dissipate in time, and you're just going to have to do it. I think
Okay. Hey, listen, Joe, I appreciate you coming on tonight because I know it's getting late, but I appreciate you offering your comments. But anyway, I want to tell everybody tonight who's listening, we're going to be on the road soon. We're going up to Meriden, Connecticut, and we're going to do a show from Meriden, Connecticut, or at least I'm going to try. I haven't had much luck lately. It seems like every time I try to do something really good here on this program, it seems like it just falls apart. I get guests booked and they blow me off, and maybe if I had a $50 bill waved at them and they'd come on with no problem. So maybe I should work out some kind of scam on that issue. I mean, why not? Everyone else is scamming everyone. No, I'm not going to stoop down that low. You know what? If you want to come on this program, you got to say. If not, get lost. That's how I see it. But anyway, we're going to be on location next week. I'm going to be heading up to Connecticut on Thursday morning. I'm going to be driving up there. So I'll be there Thursday evening. And so there'll be no show on Thursday. But Friday, I will be broadcasting from Wallingford, Connecticut. So hopefully we can get a whole new batch of guests and get some people motivated here to participate in the program and see how things go. But we're going to be on the road, okay? So I think that's going to be a great show. I think it's really going to be fun, and I hope everyone who supports me will call in. And if anyone has anything else on their mind tonight, you're more than welcome to chime in. I know there was a couple people who said they had a few things to say the other night, and I don't know if Joe in Florida has anything to say. I thought Mike had told me he did. He wanted to bring up a couple issues. He's more than welcome to. If not, because I'm scrolling up and down the numbers right now, and I do see several numbers that I recognize, so you're more than welcome to chime in if you'd like. If not, I understand. It's late. But tomorrow night we'll be broadcasting at 6 p.m., okay? Monday night we'll be broadcasting. And I got a few surprises for you tomorrow. I'm going to be calling a local pharmacy, okay? I'm not going to give it all away. You got to tune in. I'm not going to give away all the surprises, but I'm going to be calling a local pharmacy because I'm going to be butting heads with them. So I hope you guys tune in tomorrow night at 6 p.m. It's going to be fun, I'm telling you. So they can't cheat. They can't cheat out. They can't not call in because I'm calling them. And that's a company. I'll get a hold of somebody. Trust me. Trust me. I will get a hold of somebody. And those of you who did call in tonight and those of you who are listening tonight, thanks. I really appreciate your support. I asked a couple people to log into the chat room also, and they obviously followed instructions. And then there's a few I asked who probably want to play video games and do silly nonsense, but that's fine. You'll wake up soon, trust me. Your day's coming. You're going to wake up and understand and smell the coffee. Your day's coming. But anyway, hey, listen, everybody who tuned in tonight, I don't want to keep you much longer. I don't see any more questions on the board. And, wait a second. I got one, and I want to give him his time. So here we go, because I have to be honest. Go ahead. You're on the air. Go ahead. You're on the air. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Good evening.
Hey, Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Hi. Pretty good. Hey, just wanted to let you know that, I'm going to try to contact my sister about, coming on the show. I think it would be a great show. She's real knowledgeable on astrology. I mean, she just blows my mind of what she knows. And
really?
People could just call in and just give her minimal information, and she can say,
well, Mike, not to interrupt you, but what I have to do is, you see, I need a day beforehand so I can put it on the web, and I can allow like this guest tonight. I only had 3 hours notice when he called me, when he emailed me, and that's probably why it fell through tonight. I need a day where I can advertise what this show is going to be about, and we can get a lot more participation live,
Right. Well, I don't think that'll be a problem at all,
Okay.
But I don't know. One other thing I was thinking about, and I don't know if your show is winding down, that you don't, maybe I should
do what
say
you want,
this.
Mike. Hey, it's your platform,
Okay.
Mike. Go ahead.
Well, that, of course, Donald Trump has, really stirred the pot on, illegals and everything coming over the border, and now everybody is trying to chime in on that, and it's a shame that it takes something like this to wake up our people in the legislature. We've been trying to, or let's say America has been trying to get something done on our border control, and I don't see anything wrong with that. If you do have a fence that goes around your yard or around your house,
I do.
Why? Why?
Keep people out.
Because
keep people out.
Right, keep people out. And I just don't see the reason why it's so hard, for them to do something. I kind of understand. The old saying, money talks and blank walks.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but morality. I mean, if Ronald Reagan was alive today, I don't think we'd have any trouble, getting a fence built or a wall built. I don't think we'd have any. I don't think there would be any agreement with Iran for nuclear weapons. I mean, that's like giving a crazy guy, a gun and then telling him to go outside and, play with it. I mean, these people supposedly hate us, and I don't know about you, but I usually don't give people that hate me, things that can harm me.
No, I understand. No, you're right. You're right. And the thing of it is, Mike, like I said earlier, these people, we give everyone the opportunity to talk on this show and voice their opinions about things. But like I told you, when you turn on the TV, it's a game. It's a program. It's entertainment. When you see these people being interviewed, they're paid to tell their story. I'll tell you whatever you want when you give me $500 on TV, right?
Right.
I mean,
I think,
it's a joke.
I think after a period of time, people are going to be thinking when they tune in and they listen to stuff. It's just like anything else. You don't go jumping in the water. You stick a toe in. You stick another toe in, and then you feel comfortable, and then you're wading in. Pretty soon you're swimming all over the place. Well, I think that's what the viewers are doing. They're getting comfortable with the format. You're the only one out there that I know of that lets people speak their mind. People should
Mike.
People should be, even if they want to just call up and say, "Hey, what a great show," or "Thanks for doing this," or whatever. I mean, that would be wonderful to hear people commenting. That something good is happening out of this. Just like my brother Joey. He's talking about computers and everything else. I mean, everybody doesn't know everything, but you're knowledgeable on one or two things or whatever, and I think that's good. I mean, it's
Mike.
It's
hey,
free.
Mike, it's like your dad. He's on the show. He's listening. I know he is. He has a lot of information to offer. I wish he'd call in more and give his input, because he can teach a lot of us about the things we don't know about. And there's other people listening who have particular professional opinions or facts about how they live and what they do in life that can help everyone else. But I just don't know where they are,
Can I jump in for a second?
Yeah, go ahead. I didn't know you were still on. You scared me.
Yeah. I've got a mute. I've got a mute button, and I know how to use it too.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Listen, you were talking about the government. You were talking about Trump. And just a couple things as far as presidents to be. First of all, Trump's not even running for president yet because it hasn't gotten to that point, and we're just making a big deal out of everything right now. But Obama, he's up there. He's as cool as a cucumber. He never gets riled. He never raises his voice. Nothing like that. Nixon's up there shaking. His cheeks are rattling back and forth. And I'm not a crook. And Bush is sitting there reading a book to a kindergarten when the World Trade towers are probably getting knocked down and everything, and he's as cool as a cucumber too. But and now we're talking about Hillary Clinton. She has her own email servers. It took me 2 minutes while you were talking to check out this Veterans Against ISIS place to tell you what I thought. And all the years she's been running this, hasn't anybody in the government looked at the email headers where the email was coming and going to? Maybe they have. Maybe they don't want you to know.
Yeah, true. That's true. And maybe they don't want.
I don't understand, Joe. I don't understand. If it was me or you or Joe Public, and the government wanted us to turn this over or that over to them, and we said okay, fine, and never did it. They'd come after us. But it seems like the Clintons are they're like a slippery snake. Every time you grab them, they just they slide through their fingers.
You're absolutely right.
And
you're absolutely right. And I said this before, Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. They're both on the same side. They put up a good show. They appear to be bumbling fools who are making mistakes time and time again, when in fact they know exactly what they're doing. Obama's the president. He's cool as a cucumber, and he's doing all this nonsense stuff, but he's not running the show. And if Trump gets in there with all his good things that he wants us to hear and everything, he won't implement them, that's for sure, because I don't think he'll be allowed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Right.
Out here in Wisconsin, you just like you did have there in Connecticut, we have representatives that are in districts like Sensenbrenner and I just can't think of the other guy's name, but he was going to run for president, and then he didn't. And anyway, they have these people. They go around to certain spots in Wisconsin.
Are you there?
And for people to come in and talk to them,
can you hear me?
or ask them questions, and they put an ad in the paper and everything. I went to one a year or so ago, and it was just down the street from me. I mean, I didn't have to go out of my way. And, great big, nice.
Can anyone hear me right now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going, Mike. You're making a great point. I'm sorry.
But I want to stop and see him, and guess what? He was nowhere to be found. The driver of the van was there, but there was, he wanted to give me pamphlets, and it's like, no, I didn't drive over here to get a pamphlet. I wanted to talk to the representative, and it had a great big sign on the big van and everything. This is a government van. You legally can't even come on it or come near it or anything else. And I'm thinking to myself, they're driving around wanting to answer people's questions, and they're not there. And that's just going back to what you just said, Joe. They act like they're a bunch of bumbling, idiots, but actually, we're the idiots.
That's
because
right.
we believe them.
We believe them. We work 40, 50, 60 years, and what do you get? Just about enough to survive. What do they get? For one day in Congress, their entire salary?
For the rest of their life, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, do I have I don't know if I had Peter on the line or not. I guess I didn't. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought I had Peter on the line for a second there. I'm sorry. I'm trying to mess around here, trying to get him to come on the show because he said he wanted to have his say. I may be wrong. Oh, there it is. It's dialing now. Sorry, guys. I don't know how to work this, to be honest with you, this darn switchboard.
We can tell.
I know. I'm trying,
that's right.
That's all that matters. I don't know. We'll see if he picks up. If he doesn't, you guys can carry on, okay? Because he said he wanted to say something tonight. He emailed me, and it's like everybody. They email me, tell me they want to come on. Then when I call them, I think what it is, they think it's a telemarketer calling them, Because
Yeah.
Hello? Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Hang on.
I think the local politicians who are running for office, they really have a good idea, and I think they really think they're going to make a change. And then when they get going, they find out that they just can't do it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's just like colleges and like even high school, freshmen,
No,
they
answer,
come in
guys.
and
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry. I thought he answered.
They're the lowest on the pole, and the seniors rule the roost. And I take it's the same way in Congress and everything else. I mean, the somebody that just got elected, and they're coming in with all guns blazing and everything. Well, they're sort of cut down to their knees, and now all of a sudden, the person that we elected that said they're going to do this, that, and the other thing can't do anything.
Yeah, you got the people coming in all blazing, guns going off and everything. You got Kennedy standing there with a shot of bourbon saying, "Hey, Joe, bite me. Go take care of that guy."
True.
Yeah.
True. Well, guys, do you have anything else you want to talk about? Or because I know you're doing pretty good right now, but if not, we'll get ready to wrap it up. Because I know it's late, and tomorrow night I'm going to try to make us laugh a little and take on some subjects.
Tomorrow you said you're going to be on at 6 p.m., correct?
6 p.m. is tomorrow night's show. You know what it is, Mike, is that nobody wants to come on live. I get double the listeners later on. They click on and they listen later on, and I'm trying to appease everyone about the time that I come on. It's like my grandmother. She said, 9 o'clock's a great time. Well, a lot of people tell me that's too late.
Yeah, for my father, it's too late.
Yeah.
It is for people on the East Coast.
Yeah, well, I know. And then I come on at 6. You're right. People in California got to listen at 3. And they're at work or they're busy, which it's kind of a good thing because I can call them and bother them at work. But if I got to call like Walgreens or harass them or like Walmart like I did a couple weeks ago. But then, so I don't know what really to do. It's just maybe just go ahead and do the show at a set time. And then, hey, you want to listen to it, go back and listen to it, right?
I think most people download the shows. I think you probably get more downloads than you actually have listeners.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right.
The other night, last night's show, when I said I dedicated it to your guy's mother, I had 55 downloads. They finally let me know at 2 p.m. today. I had 55, but I only had 6 live listeners. You know.
Ask them for the server logs too during your show, so we can see who's hitting it.
They won't do that because of privacy laws. You know, they won't let you because if I go back and I harass those people, what happens? You know.
Well, I don't know. It's the terms of service. All you got to do is say, "Hey, that's our policy," and you know what? They have to live with it.
I know, but you know they're not going to jeopardize their company for me unless I got. You know what? If I had 70,000 people wanting to listen to this thing, they'll do anything I say. You know, but right now I only got a couple thousand. You know.
I understand, and even if people are hitting it and doing it for non-legitimate reasons, it doesn't make much of a difference anyway. Because as I spoke today, they're looking for people that are making money. They're not looking for people that are just talking. Unless you're making valid threats against someone's harm or whatever, then they'll come and take you away. But look at that guy from New Jersey, whatever his name was, a number of years back. He threatened a senator, even though he was working for the CIA.
Hal Turner, you're talking about Hal Turner?
Hal Turner, yeah, they took him away too. Yeah, and look at Blagojevich. 7 years ago, he goes to jail for selling Obama seed. It took them 7 years to figure out that they made 5 mistakes. You know what? Maybe they made 7 mistakes, and he should have went to jail to begin with.
Well, let me tell you something. I watched a movie about Howard Stern. And if you're going to be a disc jockey, you know what you got to do? You got to get out there and piss everybody off.
That's right. That's right. And
not threaten them, like you said. Not threaten the government.
Right.
Not do anything stupid, but piss everybody off. You know.
We spoke about this before too. And Howard Stern is Jewish, and I don't want to say anything bad about Jews because that's the way it goes. Because they are good people, and they all stick together. Unlike the American people who are all out for themselves, and that's how you get somewhere. You get somewhere with help from other people, and I don't care if you're Italian, I don't care if you're Jewish, I don't care if you're white or if you're black. If you got the support of your family and other people, you'll go somewhere, but when you're constantly getting screwed and taken away from, you're never going to get anywhere.
And that's what I was trying to make, and that's why I had family night on Sundays. You know what? I counted all the family that can call into this show. Kathy, Robin, Susan, Granny, my mother, my 3 sisters, my brothers, you, Michael, Melody, my grandfather in Florida. I counted everybody. Over 100 people. My phone lines would be broken because I can only handle 50. If they would all support me, I'd be the #1 show on the freaking Blog Talk. But they won't because they're all too busy. What? Screwing each other over, right?
Well, I don't know. No, I wouldn't say that, and I don't know if you'd be #1 or not. But you have to remember too, for the last 10 years, you know what I've gone through, and I may appear normal to you or Michael or anyone else and people that I meet. But let me tell you something: the difference that in me from prior to my accident that I had, I know the difference, and I'm still not the way I should be, but I'm pretty much back to normal. And a number of years ago, everything appears to be just a dream. I don't have any recollection of what's happened. And like I said, you may think I'm normal and everything. And when I tell you I drove down to North Carolina and I ended up in Canada, you think that's funny. I don't think that's funny because I had no idea where I was going.
No, I understand that. You know.
So some of these people that don't call in, especially the elderly ones, or people that you don't stay in contact with, you don't know the turmoil that they may have gone through, and they probably do have all intentions of calling in, and it's just life events have caught up with them, and they just don't call in because they don't remember.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen. The guy from ISIS, Veterans Against ISIS, he just sent me an email.
Good for him.
Okay. He said, he sends me a message on Facebook, Sean Rowe 83 at gmail.com. Sent from Commander Schumach, DUHOK /Iraq 0429. Hours local.
Oh, boy.
Whatever the heck that means. You want me to forward that to you? You think it makes sense of it?
0429, that would put him somewhere at midnight. He'd be out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean somewhere.
Yeah, it's Sean Rowe 83 at gmail.com, sent from Commander Schumach, comma, DUHOK, comma, Iraq, period, 0429. Hours local. That's what it says. That's the message I just got on Facebook.
Well, Joe from Florida would be the expert on that. But 0049 local time, 9:30 now. That means it's 2:30 a.m. over in England. So you'd have to come west a little bit. So that would put his location out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean somewhere.
Well, what do you make of it then?
I make about it what I read online and read to you moments ago. Veterans Against ISIS. I looked up the website and everything, and I don't like what I see. I'm not saying that it's not right, but I don't like it.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do then. He just sent me the message, right? I'm going to go ahead and give him a call one more time while you guys are on the air. What do you think? You know, you want me to do it or not?
Like I told you before, I think you should give him every opportunity you possibly can. Right, Mike?
Well, he just sent me a message. I guess maybe it's too late for him. I don't know. I'm going to write down his number that he just sent me. And I'm going to give him a call and give him 30 minutes on air live if that's what he wants. If not, then tomorrow night, everyone please tune in, and I'll have this gentleman on the phone. Like I said, you don't know what he's into. You don't know what he's doing, like you said, and I should give him every single chance I could to say what he has to say. Like I said, I'm not a big show. I'm not a big network here, but we do broadcast worldwide. And
you only have 27 minutes left.
Yeah, I know, but so that means we better call him right now. So let me go ahead and do that while I got everyone here. Hang on.
Is Mike still here?
I'm gonna type.
Yeah, I'm
Mike's
still here.
I can see him online. See, I see all the numbers that call in. It's just that when there's a lot of them, my page only handles so many. All right, he's dialing it. I'm dialing him now. We'll see if we can get him online. And then I'll tell him, hey, look, I'm going to call the number one more time tomorrow, you know? Like you said, I'll give him every chance I can.
What we should do is figure out where that number is located.
904-415-8616.
Your call has been...
Yeah, again. No, it's still ringing. That's funny. Got the voicemail now. I don't get it. Huh, interesting. Hello? No? I'll give you the number anyway after we hang up from this. I don't know.
Seems strange to send you an email and not answer his phone.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to see.
Your call.
You know what you're going to get.
Well, we'll hang up.
But what you're probably going to get is, oh, I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong number. But I'm busy tomorrow.
But anyway, listen. Maybe you can look this number up, and anyone else who out there who's listening. I know we got about 15 callers on the line, and this.
Yeah,
hey,
but
listen.
I don't think you need to advertise the number really.
All right, you're right. I'll email it to you. You're right, because he probably sent that to me in a personal message, and I shouldn't do that. You're right, because this is archived. You're right. I'll email it to you, and because he sent me a message saying what I just read to you. So I don't know what's going on here or what he's up to. And
well, I think it's
maybe
like I said.
maybe I have to contact his commander. That's what it is. Maybe he's under, because they do have a commander.
I think you got to send in your $79 processing fee first.
That won't happen, trust me. No money leaves this house. Only money is received. That's it.
The one thing I see is that, people might be listening that think, they don't have anything to contribute. But, it's just like Jason, my nephew Jason. I mean, he's so knowledgeable about, he does all these conferences and everything, and he's training people and things. I mean, if you every person that would call in or you're even log into the chat line, they all have something they can contribute. I can tell you about the farm. I can tell you about farming. My brother Joey can tell you about computers. My father, he's knowledgeable on just about everything, guns and ammunition and Saudi Arabia. He knows a lot more than I would even think about. And my sister, she's into astrology, and she's really good at it. People could just give a little bit of insight of what they're good at,
That's right, Mike. And that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to pull the good out of everyone. And the thing of it is that nobody wants to contribute. Everyone's too tired. They're too miserable. They're, I'm going to die tomorrow. I'm not feeling well. I got to go to work tomorrow.
You're right, Joe. But you know what? You're relatively new, and the thing is, as long as you have supporters like me, my brother, my father, our family, as long as there is, supporters. Someday one person will log on and go, yeah, I think I have something I can offer, and then now you have another one, you have another, log on the fire, so to speak.
Hey, Mike, you're right. Hey, listen, Mike, I'm going to tell you right now, like I said, I have 10 people on the line, the phone line, live. I had about 6 in the chat box, but I got 5 on the line. I got 10 on the line that are live that are strangers. And I've already contacted them all while you guys were talking earlier, and I said, no, I just want to listen. But you know what? Hey, if you have something to share, and no matter what it is, it's important. Because you hear my supporters of this show. You heard what Mike just said. It doesn't matter what you're about or what you believe in, because you know what? It's important to all of us what you have to offer. Because like you said, Mike, Jason, this person, that person, we all have expertise in a certain subject, unless you're a complete deadbeat. But then again, if you're a deadbeat, you wouldn't be logging on to this show anyway. So you wouldn't be in a chat room. You wouldn't be on the internet, because you'd be out in the streets doing nothing. So, if you're here on the internet listening to this program, you do have something to offer, and you should contribute in the future. Am I right, Mike, or wrong?
I've got something to offer.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, this is what Mike just had to say, and Jason, when you're young and you have a family, and I don't mean 20 or 25 years old, but when you're younger and you have a family, no matter how much money you make, there's just never enough to do anything. Well, Joe knows and Mike knows I've been doing computers for quite some time. I've been doing PHP scripts, Perl scripts, Linux, and all that sort of thing. And Jason just got involved with some PHP because he wanted to make a script out of PHP. That's a programming language, and he started doing it on Windows. And I tried talking him out of it from the very onset, but he wouldn't listen to me. And then when he found out it didn't work, he picked up a PHP script, and I'm having him running on a Windows machine with different programs that allow Windows to run PHP, but he made such accomplishments with modifying this PHP script himself. And I know he worked on it probably 10, 15, 20 hours a day for a week straight. And then he told me what kind of computer he's using. So I went out and I bought him a new computer, and it's going to be delivered to his house on Friday, because I can have him make some money because I have good ideas. But I know he can't do it on old, antiquated equipment. So I'm there to help him so that he can help himself.
Yeah. And how many other people will do that within our family or within our group, who like you said, you have a talent to give to other people, and you should give it, That's what I think.
That's what I try to do. And if anybody out there that's listening and wants to do something, and you have an idea to make yourself better, to make an income, you can talk to me. And if I can help you, then I will.
Well, that's great. I mean, we really need that.
But just think if we had 10 of Joes on here, they all were, somebody to call in and say, gee, I'm having a problem with my bookkeeping here. I just can't get it to, to work out. I don't really know what I'm doing, and if we had somebody call in that says, you could use QuickBooks or blah 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 blah, I mean, that's what this program, I think, is heading toward. I think it's going to be more of a knowledgeable, people are going to find out that if they don't know something, that they can come here and someone will try to help them.
I think you're right, Mike.
We don't have anything like that out there. It's either they're talking an agenda, just like the big shows do, Rush Limbaugh, Glenn Beck, they talk an agenda all the time, and just like my brother Joe says, try to get on Rush Limbaugh. You could walk to the moon first. I mean,
yeah.
That's
so
true.
that's where I think this show is heading, and I think it's going to be very knowledgeable, and if I'm gonna try emailing people that I know and everything, and I'll just gonna let them know if you're having a problem doing something, you're having a problem, like my brother Joey, he's very good at building shelves and things of that nature. I mean he's very good at wiring too. He can wire, he can build shelves, he can basically do just about anything when it comes to working in a home. That if someone called in and said my toilet, no matter what I do, it just it keeps running every once in a while, and it just think if you had a service out there that if I put an air conditioner in the window, the last couple of days, and we're having trouble, leveling it and steadying it, and we plugged it in, and at first it didn't want to work, and then we realized that there was a safety switch that we had to switch on and off, and it's just there's no place for anybody to go nowadays. Just
just to talk. There's no place for anyone to go nowadays. Like I say in my introduction, there's no place for anyone to go nowadays just to talk and talk about the things that are important to them and you and I.
And it's just like not to get on my brother Joey or anything, but I have a nice van, and the pedal is getting a little spongy, if you know what I mean, and I'm not sure, I'm not very good when it comes to car mechanics and stuff. I'm good with tractors and things, but not cars. And I don't know whether the pedal can be. There were years ago there used to be a thing where they could lift the brake pedal up a little bit so it doesn't go all the way down to the floor. And or should I just take it and have them look at it because maybe the rotors are
when you hold your foot on the brake pedal constantly, does it go all the way down to the floor?
No, it doesn't. But it's you got to pump it a couple times, and it never goes down to the floor. I mean, we got a good maybe 6 inches or so before it would even get close to that. But when I bought the van in the beginning of the year this year, the brake pedal was pretty far up near the top.
Notice any brake fluid on the ground?
No, there's none, and there's no like if you had a bad rotor or if you had a bad spot in your rotor, it would thump, 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 thump. You could feel that, but this is nice and smooth.
Is the master cylinder full of brake fluid in the engine compartment?
To honestly tell you, I don't know.
Well, let me tell you. If it's full, then you got something else wrong. If it's low, then that probably means what you need are new brake pads. And one mistake that people make is they take their car to Jiffy Lube and everything, and they make sure they top off that brake fluid and they top off everything. There's a reason why your brake fluid gets low. If your brake fluid gets low, that's why it's clear plastic, more or less, and you can see it. When the brake fluid gets low, that means your brakes are worn. And when you put new brakes in your vehicle, that fluid level will come back up. And if you fill it up before you put the brake pads in, that fluid has to go somewhere, and it's probably going to go all over your engine compartment.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's exactly what I do. I have my oil changed by a concern down here in my town, and they've always topped everything off. But they never told me that my brake fluid was low or anything else. Windshield wiping fluid, yeah, because we use that a lot. But and just like antifreeze, I have for some reason in this van that I own, if I wanted to soak some antifreeze out of the radiator, I can't do it. There's some sort of a block or something right at the top where it will not let a hose or anything go around it, to get down to the fluid. I'd probably have to take off a bottom hose or something to change.
Yeah. If you were in Connecticut, I'd say that's probably a safety feature, so nobody comes by at night and steals it.
Well,
yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm only kidding.
Well, hey, listen, guys, I got 11 minutes left, and you guys just talking like that's what's going to get us the hits and the logins. I'm going to tell you that now, because you're talking about everyday things, and that's what's important. And tomorrow night at 6 p.m., like I said, I'm going to try to, liven things up and add a little controversy to the show, and we're going to start pulling some. Hey, listen. Like you said, Mike, if people want to come here and learn, they're more than welcome. But if not, we're going to pull them in here, and we're going to start taking on some hardcore issues. Because you know what? We're the media now. Blog Talk Radio. They already told me. Look, you got free reign as long as you don't violate certain FCC rules, meaning, threat like Joe and Meriden said, threatening people, provoking, violence or anything crazy like that, you're okay. But we're going to start harassing people. We're going to start getting some answers on this show. And, I think that's what, we had some emotional shows where, like last night, I dedicated the show to your guy's mother, And I went back and listened to that show, and it was pretty powerful, at the end. So it was pretty darn good. And those of you who are family and you're not supporting us, shame on you. Shame on you, because these individuals are older. and they should be in bed resting right now. And you younger ones, instead you want to play video games and not support our show. Well, when we have 50,000 listeners and we're powerful and we can get, we can get the cause to show, have some support out there and a powerful message to bring, because, people are going to eventually request us to talk to them, because when you have thousands of people listening to you, what they want, what are they going to do? They're going to be throwing money at you, number one. Number two, they're going to say, hey, talk about us, mention us. Hey, I got a problem, can I come on? But you know what? I'm not going to forget about Mike, Joe in Florida, Betty Rondo in Wallingford, Connecticut. People like that who supported this show from the very beginning. So, you need to get on board now. Am I right or wrong, Mike? Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. And, Joe, you just got to, we just got to, we got a long walk and mountain to climb. And, if you just put one foot in front of the other and not worry about the mountain that's coming,
That's right, Mike. And you know about hard work, Mike. You know about hard work, Mike. You do. I know that. Hey, you may not be able to do it now, but you know what? You know about hard work. I know that. I've seen it firsthand.
Well, but that was my choice to do that, right? My brother Joey, he's very knowledgeable, when it comes to, little stuff that I would absolutely know nothing about.
I remember you telling me that on the farm. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that can't hook a VCR up to their television set, and it doesn't mean that
they're bad
that's a
people.
bad thing.
Yeah.
Right. It's just if in time down the road, if somebody would email you or something or saying, gee, I'm having, I think my refrigerator's going bad, but I'm not sure. Could I have someone talk about that on your show? And you'd be surprised that the all of a sudden people will be interested in getting something fixed or anything. Just like we got a weed eater here that I bought it for $5 off of Rummage. It's a gas one, and they were getting rid of it because it ran real rough and everything. So I went down to Walmart and I bought
Mike, I'm going to do my part too. I've got flyers made up. I'm going to be pushing them down people's throats. And a lot of people say, yeah, I'll listen. They don't listen. But you know what? A lot of people will eventually down the road. And that's what I'm saying. It's like with the landscaping. I would hand out 20 flyers. 1 out of 20 would call me for work. So you kind of got to look at the numbers like that. I hand out 50 flyers for this radio station. Maybe 1 or 2 will listen. The rest will throw it in the garbage,
Right. Right. And that's the way to look at it,
Yeah. Well, anyway,
you can always put a tagline on your email account, too. This way, every email you send will have a direct link to your show.
Well, you see, those are things you know about, and those are things I do not, like Mike was saying. Right, Mike?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, listen, I got 5 minutes left. Anything you want to say before the end of the night? Because I got to wrap it up. After 5 minutes, they start charging me by the minute.
Okay, no, I don't. I think I've said enough, and I'm just glad this show was here. That's all I got to say.
Hey, Mike, we did have a lot of listeners tonight, and Joe and Meriden too. Hey, nobody needs to know what's going on, but you guys are supporters of this show. And Bridget in Reedsville, North Carolina, she's listening to the end. And we got Betty Rondo. She's listening right to the very end. And I got 3 more that I don't know who you are, but I hope you call in and participate in the future. We had about 30 to 40 live callers and about 6 or 7 in the chat room. And then I have my co-host chat room with about 5 in it. I know some people can't see that, but it's kind of weird how this thing operates, this studio. And then you got your podcast, the smartphones, and I have no idea who's listening through their smartphones. I don't, because it doesn't show me on here. So maybe one day we'll figure it out. But until then, hey, thanks to you people for listening. I really appreciate it. And like I said, Thursday morning, we're heading to Connecticut on the road. So there'll be no show on Thursday, but Friday I'll be broadcasting from Connecticut. Hopefully I'll be with Joe and Meriden, and we can put together something special. I hope so. So anyway, good night, everybody. I appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
Good night. Goodbye.
Good night.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
But I also believe that a lot of gun owners would agree that AK-47s belong in the hands of soldiers, not in the hands of criminals.
Thanks, Randy, for listening. I appreciate it. I got you on the line. Thank you. Good night, everybody. I really appreciate it. You were good tonight.